Yeah, so that if we went back to that RNG series, I know in game two, at least initially, RNG got bullied in game one, right? Because they let T1 figure out how to like early game map control everything. Like they invaded early and they were always ahead at that point. So RNG this time refused to let that happen, and they were the aggressors. They made sure they didn't take any disadvantages early, and then
Hmm.
they were the ones controlling the game for most of the early and mid game. But T1 being T1 as a Korean team, they were like, okay, we're just gonna play it out. We're gonna do this, that. Like, oh, you're start beating up on us. We'll just go for the long game. We just need to start creating
Like
these
outlast
situations
it, right?
where we
Yeah.
can come back.
Uh-huh.
And they were like down 8-1 in kills and like up 6K in gold. But like, T1 is always trying to like they aren't taking as many losses after that point. Like they're trying to just like slowly
Mitigate
build up and still,
losses.
yeah,
Okay.
mitigate losses and find their team fight scenario. Obviously, they have to have the skill. This is at the highest level of play,
Yeah.
so that no matter what, they're going to be good, right?
Hmm.
So they eventually, in the end, they just adapted to each scenario. And I'm keeping it very general because you had to watch it to understand. But they they executed their game plan. They got derailed to a degree, and they were at disadvantage state. But they just eventually were organized enough against China or RNG's organized chaos, and they found a way to win it in the end. And obviously there is skill too, but if you look at the strategy part of it, like it was flawlessly executed.
Mm.
And I was amazed, honestly, because that's a most teams like I feel like an NA team would just like crumble after being down 8-1 in kills.
How about this though? Because how about we state it this way? Like nobody's game plan is to go down 8-1, right? Like that's
Yeah.
not your game
Uh-huh.
plan. But like
Right.
clearly it's kind of like what Mike Tyson, I'm pretty sure it was Mike Tyson said. It's like, like everybody has a plan until you get punched in the mouth, right? Like this just like
Yeah.
that's what it is. And then you just got to like adapt to exactly the situation that
Yep.
you're approached with, right? And it's like, I mean, you're not planning to go down at 1-8, 6K gold down in the beginning of the game. That's actually impressive because, like, if you think about it, and I'm sure you guys would agree, in League of Legends, it's a very snowbally game, right? Like, you
It
build that
is.
advantage, and it's like, holy crap, like I'm down. Like, it's like, well, you could either give up or you could try to like really claw your way back, but very very carefully because any advantage is amplified, right, by the way that League of
Mhm.
Legends is just that the way that it works, right? So then I don't know. Like that is an incredibly impressive when one
Oh
team
yeah.
is down by that much. It's sort of kind of a miracle, but also like a huge kudos to T1 for withstanding that, right? I
And
don't know.
to expand on that, there was actually a statistic recently released out of the group stages of Worlds.
Mhm.
Um, if you were ahead by 2K gold,
Mhm.
2,000, that's not
Okay.
very much.
That isn't very much,
Mhm.
no.
You had a 90% chance of winning that game.
90%. Jeez.
90. And the fact that T1 came back from what did you say? It was like a
Like I
Six
feel like
K.
it was a
5K gold,
5 to 6K.
yeah, five
Yeah,
to
it
six
was
K gold
crazy. Yeah,
deficit.
yeah.
That is actually insane, you know? Because 5 to 6K, that depending on what stage of the game you're at, there's a freaking big ass difference, dude.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah.
It's like fully completed
So
items on like your carries or something.
exactly,
Like
you're
that's
basically an item ahead, you know?
There's a lot of
Um,
nuance to that too, though. Like, because sometimes when you're pushing, like you haven't backed yet to get your goal, like make your
yeah.
purchases. But pros, they're always aware of all that type of stuff. So
like the
they're like
optimization
looking.
of
They're like,
that,
he
right?
hasn't backed yet. Yo, we can push out this. We can do this.
Yep.
Oh, they're positioning like this. Like so, there's the nuance of that game is insane. And
It
like Oscar
is.
said, like for Korea to have or T1 to make that comeback, there was a lot of small things that they had to keep finding small wins. Just like it's a slow grind. It's like life, man. Like just find one thing and work on that, and then get that win, and then move to the next one, and then
Yeah.
eventually, you never know, you might win it all.
Are you tilted?
I'm always tilted. Are you tilted?
Man, I'm tilted to the max. I'm always tilted.
Special guest, young Oscar. Are you tilted?
Dude, you can see it in my eyes, dude. I'm like ultra tilted all the time.